Good morning, everyone. Jim Laird joining you live from Grand Pacifica, Nicaragua. It's a beautiful day here today. I finally got around to putting my wiring my Ethernet cable. I can never pronounce it right. Running an extra line up here because the one that's in the wall isn't working, so I have to get that fixed. So I finally got around to that, so we're able to have a hardwired connection up here, which will be a lot better. We're going to talk a little bit about, well, first of all, today, Dr. Stillman and I are doing our free weekly lesson. You need to be on the email list to get in on that. And today, the subject is hormones and neurotransmitters. So we got a whole bunch of people signed up for that one. And that is going to be good. So if you missed it, if you're on the list, you'll have an email on Wednesday night that you can register for it. And even if you can't watch it live, you can watch the replay if you register for the webinar. And we do these every week. Next week is Secrets of Self-Quantification. And then after that, Approach to Allergies, Parasites, and Mold, Air Quality and Breathing Mechanics, Water Quality, Libations and Hydration, Physical Fitness and Exercise, Light, Sauna, and Phototherapy. So all these things are great topics that we get into in depth on these lessons that you have access to if you get on the email list. So just go to stillmanwellness.com for that. So today we're going to talk about what most people are getting wrong with their workouts. And this kind of piggybacks off on Instagram. I do a live on Instagram every morning from the beach. And it's amazing. The reception here is good enough to do an Instagram live. So yesterday we talked about what we call general physical preparedness. So I'll talk a lot about the clients that I get. Most of the clients that are attracted to me are hard charging people. They fall into two categories. One, they're doing a training program that doesn't really suit what their goals are. So you sit them down and ask them what they want. It doesn't really line up with what they're training, the way they're training doesn't line up with for what the results that they want. That's one thing. The biggest monkey in the room is most people just don't take their recovery serious enough, right? The sleep and the eating, most people don't understand. Thanks to whoever liked that. I appreciate it. Most people don't take their recovery serious enough. The sleep, the eating, all these things, the light aerobic activity to help your body, get blood into areas to help you recover. That is how you get better from training. Training is a stress. Training can be a stress reliever as well, depending on the style of training that you're doing, like Tai Chi and things like that. But actual strength training itself puts a demand on the body that forces the body to change, right? And so we want to make sure that what the stresses that we're putting on the body line up for what your goals are, one. And two, do you have the foundation so that your body can handle the stress? For example, like say you want to skip rope for an hour, right? You would start with doing very short intervals of skipping rope over time, and you would gradually increase that. You just don't go out and try and skip rope for an hour when you haven't skipped rope in a long time or ever. Your calves, you might get shin splints. You might even fracture your shins, depending on what surface you're skipping rope on. Or if you wanted to run a marathon and you just went out and ran it. I mean, some people can get away with that and do that, but most people would end up in serious problems. So you would start off preparing yourself to do the event. So having a good general base of fitness, or GPP, is important. And honestly, you go back 50, 60 years ago, most people were generally in much better shape because they worked out. They didn't work out, but they had active lives. They worked on farms. They mowed their grass. They shoveled the snow. They built their homes. Now everything's outsourced. So people sit on their butt and then they think they can go to a gym and out train their sedentary lifestyle. So it starts with doing things every day, from simple things like going for, 3 10-minute walks is what we talk about all the time. Doing things like that, to doing little circuits on the ground where you're rolling around on the ground, you're doing different things. You're taking movement breaks throughout the day. You're doing easy cardio. Maybe you throw a little intensity in there, but you do that to build up your capacity so that when you do train hard for short, half an hour, 45 minute intervals, your body has the capacity to adapt to that stress. And so most people just don't do the work. And for some people that are starting out that are in a really bad place, it might be ride an Aerodyne bike 4 or 5 times a week for 30 minutes and do some really simple resets. That might be the thing you need to do. And then getting your sleep in order and managing your stress, getting yourself in a better place so you can train harder. And then training hard enough to make a change, but not so hard that you wreck yourself, right? And it's really an art. And that changes for everyone. And you can watch when you train somebody. That's why I really like working with people in person, because I can see their body language, I can see their expression. And then once you want to get really results, then you track like what weights you're using. The girls, all the people that I trained at the gym would have a training log. They'd write down what they were doing. And then we could go look back over a few weeks and go, oh, wow, that was really hard a couple of weeks ago. You just did that really easy. So you're getting better. So that's a super, super important part of it. Once you get past the beginner stage. But, you know, it's kind of like Mr. Miyagi and Karate Kid doing the wax on, wax off. He didn't start with very advanced movements. He started with very simple things in painting and in waxing the cars so that it became instinctive. And a lot of the things you need to do in training at first in order to get someone moving proficiently are not high threshold, are very easy. You don't learn in an emergency state. You learn in a relaxed state. That's where you learn new skills. And then you repeat those things over and over again. It's kind of like shooting a gun. You dry fire, you do the drills under no stress. And then when you apply stress, those instincts just take over and you just do it, right? Because you're not going to learn new skills in a high stress environment. So you've got to have some skill acquisition programmed into your training program, whether that's in the beginning during your warm up or on your off days. You can have a skill acquisition day that's actually part of an active recovery program. So those are just some ideas for you. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe. Please like. Obviously, the powers that be don't really like what I have to say very much. So had a great day yesterday. Actually, I went to Villa de Carmen, the gym in Villa de Carmen, and trained with the owner of the place, and he's more of a bodybuilder style guy. So we ended up doing like 7 or 8 different chest exercises. So I'm a little pumped today and a little sore, but it was fun. It's fun to throw some different things in there every once in a while. I got to show him a few things, but it was a lot of fun. The atmosphere is incredible. Everybody in there works super, super hard. Whether it's super efficient or not, that can be argued, but it's a lot of fun watching these, especially these women in there, just get after it. I mean, they get after it hard. And I must have lost probably 10 pounds of water while I was training. I mean, I was soaked head to toe, just drenched. And so it's actually good. You know, I'm getting close to 50 now. I turned 49 here in a couple weeks, and training in the heat, man, it really helps with the joints as they get older, so to speak. So, and I'm pretty good. I move pretty well. I don't really have that many injuries and nicks, considering how much abuse I've done to my body. But still, the heat definitely helps. And you know, when I'd work out in Kentucky, it'd take me 20 minutes to warm up. Here, I just roll around on the floor for about 3 or 4 minutes, do a couple simple things, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So it's kind of neat. So have yourself a great day. If you're not on the email list, go get on the email list so you can get in on our next lesson. And hopefully we'll see you here in about 20 minutes on our weekly lesson. Have a great day. Make sure you remember to get outside today. It's super important.